Hello everyone, welcome to the web development course from Desi Uni. We had discussed about a lot of things related to React, how you should make changes into your React folder, right? So all those things we had learned. But one thing is that let me show you some sort of emits over here. Let's say div.li. You already know that if I do this in my HTML document and if I click enter, I will get this sort of emit feature, right? In our HTML. But if you do try doing it on your system, you have recently installed the extensions, Node.js, all those, right? So try doing this on your system. It will not run. Okay, it will just not give any sort of emit suggestions. Okay, it is because you have to make some changes over there. If you want that feature, what you should do is go to the settings, and in the settings search for emmet, and after you search for emmet, what you should do is go down, emmet include languages, click on include languages, click on add item, and here what you should do is you should add the key. I have already added this key. The key I have added is this one, JavaScript, and the value is JavaScript React. So whenever you write some sort of inside of your JavaScript, means this item means nothing but your JavaScript file, that is .js extension files, that should have the value of JavaScript React. So don't think much about this. This feature allows you to use extensions in the same way that you are using in your HTML. Okay, so add this JavaScript and then here you write JavaScript React. So once you do this, you will see changes over there, and after you do that, try doing this. Definitely that will work. Okay, so for now I will not be focusing on that. Let's say I want to build a website. Okay, let's decide about the project that we want to build. Let's say I want to build a project like I want to give input as a word to my web application, or the user gives the input of some paragraph, and that website should show the count of the letters in that paragraph, and it should also remove all the spaces, unwanted spaces and all. So after removing unwanted spaces, it should give some number count of the character. Okay, so that sort of simple web page we will be building, and we will be learning React along with that. Okay, so as we are not learning some sort of data structures and algorithms here, right? So for that reason we should have to learn the particular language by building the web pages. Okay, you already know HTML tags, you already know the CSS, you know how JavaScript works. Here you should have to implement those knowledge, that knowledge, and you should have to learn React using that knowledge. Okay, if you don't know HTML, CSS and JavaScript, definitely learning React JS is impossible. You should know at least few concepts of those. Okay, I would suggest go through all the videos. Okay, let's say for that, the first thing we need would be what the first thing that we should have in our website. Okay, so let me just go to Chrome. Okay, if I go to Chrome, what is the first thing that I have over here? We can consider this as a navbar, right? So we would need a navbar. So we will create a navbar. Okay, so inside of this navbar, what I want is I will add some li tags. Okay, so this is the JSX code I'm writing, and after that I want this about, and after that li. Also I would have just used the emits over there, as we already know the shortcut for writing these three also, that is li into 3. So it's completely all right that we wrote it from the scratch. And after that, let's go to our web page. No, this one, and here you can see the change has been applied over here. I will make it here so that you can see the changes visible over there. And after that, what I want to do is, let's say you want to show some paragraph also. Okay, so let me just create a paragraph inside of the div, or you can just directly write the paragraph, no issues. It is something that I remembered, so I wrote it. Let's say I want lorem 25 words, alt set for word wrap. And after that also, you can go here, you can click here, and if you see, if you click here on the word wrap, your content will be wrapped properly. Okay, so as I had already wrapped, so it went back to the previous state it had. So here with word wrap, you can see the proper words have been wrapped over here. Okay, so after this, let's say you want to give some color. Okay, let's not give it over here. You can create your css file. Yeah, we have imported the css file, right? So for our container, let me give some styling for my container. What styling I want to give is, let me give it some this color. Okay, you can see that a change have been applied over there. Let me make it to some dark color, and also the change should be visible. Okay, the change is visible over there, right? So this is the way you can include your css file inside your js. You are importing your css file. Okay, so you should have to write this import app css. Okay, and after that, what we have is this function. Okay, this function, inside of this function, you can write some functions over here. We will define, we will understand it later. And after that, you will definitely should have to write this return function. So whatever you write inside of this return function will be displayed on your web page, right? So this after this, you can see that we have written this, and you should also close the braces. You should also close the braces, and after that, you should export default app. You should export your app. Okay, so let me just tell you, we have written a function here, right? Why have we written a function over here? What's the use of writing a function, right? Why did I even write this function? Okay, see, in React, what we have is, we basically have, let me just write it over here, two types of coding, that is functional based, and another one is, that is class based. Let me just tell you the basic scenario that we have. Okay, so the basic thing is that class based components are difficult. You can write some code using the classes. Okay, so that is kind of difficult than functional based components. This functional based components are very easy. Sending some props, properties, and all those things are easy in our functional based components. In the class based components, it is slightly difficult. That is, you will be using some objects and all. Okay, so basically the basic features of this class based components is that it is created using the javascript classes, okay, that extend the react.component class. So what this react.component class that we had seen in our index.html, okay, in the public index.html we had seen that. So basically these classes, they have a render method where you return the jsx, okay, that should be displayed. And after that, this class based components can manage their own state using this dot state. Okay, so this is the main thing we had learned about this keyword, right? This keyword. So basically what happens over here is that class based components can manage their own state using this state, okay, this keyword, this dot state, and life cycle methods like component did mount. So these are the things that you can learn if you want to go with the class based components, but they are almost deprecated, no one usually use it. So this keyword you had learned it in the JavaScript code. This keyword basically says which object is active at that point of time inside some particular class. Okay. Also, they can contain methods for handling user interfaces and their logic. Okay. So this class-based components are suitable for complex components with state and lifecycle needs. Okay. So it will be very complex components. Also, you can write some lengthier code using functional based components, but functional based components is almost preferred over everything. Okay, so in the functional based components are JavaScript functions that return JSX. Here, this is JSX that we have written. So as we have already experienced that learning JSX is a good thing because we have already learned our HTML, right? So they are simpler and more concise than class-based components and were introduced in React as function components. These functional components do not manage state or have life cycle methods on their own, but they can use React hooks. Okay, we can use the concept of React hooks over here. So this is the very important thing. Very important thing means this is the must thing that you should learn. Without this React hooks you cannot build React application. Okay, you can just build application like this as it is visible over here. So what this React hook basically contains is this contain use state, use effect, and also it contains use reducer and so many things that we will be learning. So they are preferred choice for creating simple stateless components or for using hooks to manage states in modern React. So it is it is stated that it is used in the modern React. So it is better to learn functional based components. So after this, we have learned that this is a functional based component, a function we have, and a return statement that we have. So that is basically returning this value. Okay. So okay, after this you can go to the official documentation of the JSX and you can learn it over there, some difference and all those things. Okay, let's say you want some value to be constant throughout your web page. Okay, you want to change it only when you need it, but most of the times that value is constant. Okay, let's say let greet is equal to, I will add good morning. Okay, whatever the time is now doesn't matter, that is a good morning that I have added here greet. So we have not used this greet, so where I want to use this greet. Okay, so for that reason what I will do is instead of this let's have some h1 tag. Okay, inside of this h1 tag I will write hello. Okay, so here inside of our JSX you can also use some JavaScript variables, all those things you learned, right? So this is basically a JavaScript variable or whatever you call. So for that, for using that variable we have JavaScript specific code. To write the JavaScript specific code we have this curly braces. So whatever the JavaScript specific thing you write, you should write it inside the curly braces. So I will just write it great. Okay, you can see this value have been added over here. So this is the way we can add it here. Also let's say we want to add it here. Okay, great. Here you can see good morning has been added. And also you can also use it in between, you can use it anywhere inside of the JSX. Did I added it? Yeah, I have added it. You can see good morning here. Okay, so this is the way you can use the variables in your JavaScript. This entire thing will be shown on the web page, right? And after that, we had seen in the debugging video of our HTML that if I have not written this closing tag, it will be forgiven, or our browser has some inbuilt rules. Using those inbuilt rules, it will directly add the closing tag right here, right? So this is something that we had learned in the HTML, but this is the JSX. In JSX, that thing doesn't happen. If you do so, error will be thrown, and you can see it is thrown over here, and you cannot see the entire page over here. You can cancel it over here, and you can still see it over here, but at that is a error. If you reload it, you can see the error still persists. Okay, so for that reason, avoiding this type of errors is important. And also, let's say this is a bold content. Okay, for the bold content we have a text formatting B, right? So let's say B. So if you do so, it will not directly convert it to the bold, but you will see the change over here. I did it, so I think I have written the proper code. B, yeah, right. So since we have written it inside the double quotes, it is literally printing it as it is. And you can also see it is not converted into the bold letters. It is simply showing as it is, right? It is simply showing the literal value. And after that, if I just remove these braces, let's see what will happen. Or not the braces, the quotes. You can see if I remove the quotes, here the text is converted into the bold, and here also the text is converted to the bold. Okay, let me give some class name over here. Class name is equal to, give it to bold. Okay, let's focus on this class here. Not the text, let's give some other color. I will give it to some opposite color, that is blue. So yeah, here you can see that change has been applied to the entire P. So I hope till now you don't have any confusions regarding including the CSS and how the CSS things are added to the JS. Okay, so this is it. We will not focus on learning more about adding all the CSS and all into our web pages. Okay, so we have created this nav, right? So this nav is not looking good, as in this course we are not focusing on styling. So for that I will introduce something else, so that is Get Bootstrap. Most of the students might be waiting for this. So get bootstrap.com. Okay, so you may already know this, but it's completely all right if you had not known this earlier. So what this bootstrap is nothing but a just copy pasting thing. You don't have so much to learn over here. Okay, so here we have created our navbar. So this is the way our navbar looks, right? So obviously this is not a good design. And also, to design our navbar to look very good, or you can say to look it in this way, you should have to write a lot of code, right? You should have to write a lot of JavaScript code and also you should have to write a lot of css code, right? So instead of writing all those, you can just prefer bootstrap. But don't think that you should not learn css and all. Bootstrap is nothing but a framework of css. So this is used to build the style the web pages. Okay, so what I will do is, let's begin with this. Here I will copy this one. Let me just confirm if it is the right one. So yeah, this is the one. We have to just copy this. I have to copy this till the end. Copy this. This is for the css, cdn reference for the css. Here we will go. Okay, I copied that, but where should I paste it? So that's the question, right? Where should I even paste it? So to paste that, I should go to the public. We had learned, right? All the other all the other files will be added over here, right? So here, where I should paste it means I will just paste it below our title or above the title. That doesn't matter. I will just paste it above the title. Okay, I pasted it, and also I want this script. So script, I will paste it here. So basically, by pasting these two links, what I have done by pasting these two links is nothing but I have given some sort of, you can say, permission. Okay, some permission or some reference that to use this bootstrap to build the web page. Okay, so here what I will do next is, let's go to our bootstrap.com. Inside of the bootstrap.com, I want to build a component, right? I want to build a component. What component I want to build? Let me search it here and let's see if it is available. Let's not go there. So inside of the components, let's search for our navbar. That should have shown over. So yeah, here this components that I should refer. So here, yeah, I have this navbar. Here we can go, you can scroll down, and you can see this sort of code is there, right? You can, before looking at the code, see this output of that code. This is the output. So if you use this code, this output will be given. So if you use this output will be given. And if this, so that is the way. So I want this one, right? So for that, I will copy this. And where should I paste this, right? So I should paste this here. I don't want all this dummy data over here. I will just delete it. Okay. Okay. Never. Entire thing is wrapped inside the never. That's completely all right. But the thing is that here you can see, here we have this class as class, right? But our html sorry, JSX does not have this, right? We have class name, right? We have class name, not the class, right? So for that, I should have to find all of them and I should replace them. That is, I will find all this class. Okay, and I will replace it with class name. Okay, replace all. You can see all over here it has been replaced. Here you can see this HR tag. That HR tag is open but it is not closed over here, right? So yeah, I think I did it wrong. So yeah, that error I have cleared. And also input is also a self closing tag. Here I should have to close it. So these are the small very small thing that you should keep in mind. And definitely you should make changes over there. If let's say this simple error, for that simple error we will not get the output, right? So for that reason you should keep all these things. These are just very few things that you should make changes over there, and it will just take few seconds to make changes. And here we can see we only have the warnings. Greet is assigned a value but never used. I will just delete our greet. We don't want it now, or I will just comment it out for the documentation purpose. And after this, we have removed the greet. And okay, let's just ignore this warning. And if I come here and if I reload, you can see that sort of output, this one has been added over here, right? So this is how you should use bootstrap inside of your react.js. And also if you are using html, css and javascript, you can use bootstrap in the same way. You can just delete your css file and you can add this sort of thing over there. So it is same. Most important thing is you should add this. Okay, you should add this one, this. And you should definitely have the internet access, because it should go and it should have to search over there. You should have the internet access to run this. Okay, so I want to give you a task, that is to master this bootstrap. What I want you to do is go to your go to this bootstrap.com, getbootstrap.com, and go to the entire thing, all these pagination placeholders and all those things, and see how these things are over there. Okay, see those things over there, and see how you can make changes into your app. Okay, and after seeing all those changes, I want you to add some more sort of functionality. Not the functionality, I want you to add some more sort of designs over here. Okay, so this is the drop down that they have provided over here. Let's make some changes over there. Okay, for that I should have to search this drop down. I found it over here, right? So where is our drop down? We have our action, another action, right? So let's say in our drop down, um, I will just write some hard coded value. Drop down one, you can see the change have been applied. It is not that key. If you have got this bootstrap content, you should use it in the same way. No, it's not in that way. It's not like that. You can use your own bootstrap. You can, after installing the bootstrap, you can add some your own content. Okay, if you can also make it to this. It basically it shows for the hash, it shows some sort of error, right? You might have not seen that. For this hash, if you are using it in the react, it shows some sort of error. For that you should use this slash. We will learn this, how this slash is working and why that hash is not working, all those things in our other videos. Like we will be learning about the concept of routers, there we will learn it. And also one more most important thing of our bootstrap is that, important thing is that, you can see this is very responsive, right? So by default, all the all the stylings that you get from the bootstrap.com are you don't have to add any media queries. They are very responsive. Okay, so okay, we built Navar. We have built Navar. Just think in your mind, if you write a lot of components over here, okay, it we have just written for the navbar and it is about some 50 lines, right? If you add more things, so the code will drastically increase, right? So for that reason we have this component based architecture in our React.js. So for that, let's create a separate file over here. Let's create a separate file in our src. I will name it to navbar. Make sure the first letter should be uppercase itself, okay, and the extension is js. The first letter should be uppercase for all the javascript, React javascript code you write. Okay, so here what I want to do is I will import my app.css. Even though I don't have any good code over there, I will just import it to show you how you should use it. Here you are seeing some suggestions, right? Just go it and do it over there. And after this, I want to import. Let's say I don't want to import anything. Uh, One more thing is that in the older versions of React, what you should have to do is you should has to do this import React from React. Import, I will not try this. I just forgot it because we have not been used it since very long, because this is deprecated. Import React from React. So this was the thing that you should have to write, that you should has to write in the previous older version. So if you find some sort of code that has that line from GitHub, when you copy some code, or just for the reference, don't copy the projects. If you find that, don't get confused, that is some older versions. In the newer versions you don't have to add them. Okay, so as we have installed our ES7 extension, right? So let's use some emits of that extension. So RAFC, React Functional Component. When I press enter, you can see this is created. So this is the use of that extension that we downloaded. You might have confused at why are we downloading this sort of extensions. You might have also thought they are useless, but no, they are not useless. Hmm. So yeah, this works in this way. You should have to export it, right? So yeah, here I had made some mistake. I just swapped it, right? Here export default function navbar, this one. Also one more way you can write is, you can just write function here, just like here you can write a function, and at the last you can export that function. Okay, so both the ways are correct. So what I want to do over here is I will add this entire code there, this thing, control C, and I will, oh, control V. Yeah, I pasted this entire content over here, and I will just delete it. So after this, what should I do? So here the first thing is that, basically just think that you created some tag. Just assume this is not the way it works. For the better understanding, just assume that you have created a tag named navbar. Okay, so that tag has all these values. Writing that tag will display this value. Okay, so we will write this. Okay, so some error we are getting because we have not imported here, right? Import navbar from navbar. We don't have error, we only have warnings for that, right? If you go here now, you can see some changes have been applied. Definitely you're not seeing any changes over there. just the same application. If I comment it out, you can see there is nothing over here, right? We are not seeing anything over here because here in the written I have commented out, right? So what I want to say by this is that here this navbar, this is basically a tag, right? This is a tag that you have defined. You have defined this tag, and this tag basically contains some value. Okay, so what value it is containing? It is containing this entire value that is inside of this one, this return. Okay, this is the entire value that is it is containing. Okay, so let's learn about the props. Okay, so what are these props? We have already learned about the props. Basically what these props are. In React JavaScript, the props are nothing but properties. Okay, so in React JavaScript, you don't have to specify the type of the property. In React TypeScript, you should have to specify the type of the property. So this is the major difference. So don't think about that for now, because you're just learning React JavaScript for now. Learning any of this is enough. Any one of this is enough. So props is nothing but properties. Okay, what's the need of these properties? This is nothing but you want to send some data from here to here. Okay, or you want to send some data from any component to any component. Let's say for now you want to send some data from app.js to navbar.js. So for that purpose, what you should do is, you should not have to write any property kind of thing or anything. Just write the name of the property that you want to pass, and then write it inside here. Okay, or you can also pass the string value. Okay, you can also pass the string value, right? Or you can also pass any sort of data type. Okay, here I will just pass the title as, I will just name it to basic Q&A. Definitely, why am I seeing here? Because we have not accepted this and we have not made changes over there, right? So here what you should do is, navbar.js, here what you should do is you only have to write this as props. Okay, so after that, let's say I want to replace this thing navbar to something else, that is the prop that I have received from here. So basically this is similar to the data parameters and arguments that we pass in the basic language functions, right? This is similar to that. Here I want to display this basic Q&A over here. So for that purpose, what I will do is, we will write a JavaScript inside the braces, right? Definitely. And after that I will write props dot title. So yeah, props dot title, this title is basically defined here. This name is defined over here. You don't have to define it once again. So what I suggest is, you can definitely change the value inside of this prop unless it is constant, but don't change the value that you are getting from some other some other component. Okay, so this will just crash your apps, or this will not cause any major errors, but it is good to not change it. So, and also you can pass as many as number of props over here. Let's say here it is link, right? Let's say I don't want this hard coded data here. I want to share send that data. Okay, link is equal to, I'll just write links, and here props dot link. That here you can see the link basically stores the data of links, right? So that has been displayed over here. So here here links, yeah. So this is the way how it basically works. Also you can specify the data type for this. You can specify the data type at the last, right? Like in the, let me just open my navbar.js. Here let's say I want to specify my prop types, okay, not the data types, because we are not referring it as data, we are referring it as property, right? So prop type is similar to the data type itself. So for that, just go here, prop types, react, search it over here, and you can see all these prop types. I will just copy this. My throat has just gone. I will, so not the greeting. I will say this is navbar. We have named, we have named this as navbar, right? We have named this tag as navbar. This function name is navbar. For that purpose, I wrote navbar here. We don't need the name, so I have written the title. So for the title, what you should do is prop types, prop types. So after this I should specify the type, okay? So that's all. I specified the oh, type. I specified it as the type, and after that we have one more thing, that is link or links, link, right? For the link, don't give this type of names, it will just increase the confusions. I should add the comma here, just a common sense thing. For the link, I will give the prop types. Again it has the prop type as string, okay? You can give any prop type. As I only have this prop type of strings over here, so I just gave it string. If you have some other, if you have built some page on your own, you can give any prop type. And after that, let's say you might doubt that this data might be passed or it might not be passed, okay? So for that reason we can use some default values. So for that, navbar dot, I will use default props, default props, or you can just go here and you will see. Okay, I don't know where that code is now. Okay, we will just write our code from the scratch. No issues if we know that. So title, if I don't get this title from my app, if I don't get this title from my app, I will just, what I will write is, I will just set title name, okay? Set title name. Definitely let's see what's the error that I'm getting over here. Prop types is not defined. What have we done? We had just copied this code from here, right? We had just copied this code from here. Let me see. So yeah, I should have to import this one first. So this is the use of using the documentation. If even if you are stuck, you can go and see prop types as prop types. Okay, we'll just make some changes over here. Prop. Here this is a capital letter. Yeah, this is capital letter, right? I mean uppercase in the programming language or in a standard way. It is a prop type. Okay. Yeah, very small error that took a lot of time to debug. And yeah, after this, what changes I have made is I'm not passing any value from this to navbar, from our app to navbar. I'm not sending any value. So in that case, i still I'm still uh, I'm still showing this value over here, props dot title, right? So let's see what is displaying over here. So here you can see set title name. Here, how it is working means, you can see that here what happened is, if no value has been passed, it will just use some default values. Okay, if no value has been passed, it will just use some default values that I have given. You can also give as many as number of default values, it actually doesn't matter. Okay, so after this, related to the props, I think this must be enough. This must be enough. And one more thing is, let's say we have this property of is required. Is required. Is required means that thing should be there no matter what. Okay, so I will, is required means you should pass the value no matter what. From app.js, I should get the value of this title. So if I'm not getting the value, at least I should have this. Okay, alternate or the default props. If I don't have this default prop and also I'm not passing any of the value from here means, so that is an invalid case. So in that case, what will happen is, it will throw some error. It is required, and I will just comment it out to show you. Is required, and I will reload this. You can see no value has been printed over here. Navbar.js provide valid navigatable value. That is, it is showing that some we have not provided some navigatable valid value, right? So that is showing we have not sent some valid data. So basically that is causing an error. It is not reflecting, the error is not reflecting over here. It doesn't mean that's not a error. You can go to console, following the icon manifest, just ignore this manifest. And here you can see prop title is marked as required in navbar, but it is, its value is undefined. So you can see that since we have not passed any value and also we don't have any default value. So for that reason, uh, it is throwing some error. Okay, control Z. I will just add my title here. Title. So the title was Desi Queen. Desi Queen. Okay. So here you can see if I load this, that has been gone. Ignore this manifest, and you can see this one have been reflected over here. The changes have been reflected, and after that, here even if I uncomment this, what will happen is it is not been shown here, because it will be shown only if we have not passed any value from here. Okay, so that is the most important thing that you should keep in mind. This is it. Here you can just revise all these things by going through the code. Here we learned about our functional based components, and in the functional based components that we saw that we will be getting some values, and also we will be exporting the files, and we will be having some JavaScript variables, and also the most important thing that we have over here is the concept of React hooks. This was the thing that we learned in our functional based components, and after that we learned our class based components. And class based components is basically related to the objects and classes. There we will be creating the JavaScript objects and the JavaScript classes, and also we make use of this keyword a lot. What this keyword is, this keyword basically says which component, no, not the component, which object is active at that point of time. And then we learned about passing the props, that is properties. That is nothing but also setting it as required, and also how to specify the property type for the properties that we are getting. And also we learned about this required keyword over here, and we learned specifying some different types of data types. And most important thing and the major thing that we have learned in this particular course or the particular video is that this navbar, right? Here I created a new, just go through this revision that I'm giving. It will be very helpful. Here I have created this file. In this file what I have done is I have used this app.css. Basically that app.css is not required, you can just remove it, because we have not used those stylings over here, right? So we use this import React from React, so it is completely all right even if you don't import it in the modern React JavaScript. And after that, we wrote this React functional component. We just wrote RFC, and after that we got this React, and we have written and we have exported a function over here, right? And in this function we have got some data, we have got some code from our bootstrap.com. We learned about how to use this bootstrap. For that we have included two files, css and html files in our index.html here. And after that we will be getting all these stylings, all the class names that we have represented over here, that we will be getting from our bootstrap links that we have represented in our index.html in the public folder. And after this we learned about this. And here the most important thing is props. That is our app.js is passing some sort of properties, right? So these are the properties. You can pass as many as number of properties, and you can get it over here. You can just access this by writing it inside this braces, this curly braces, and you can just write props and dot followed by the name that you have specified over here. So there is no restriction to use this name over there. And also not only the string, you can pass any data type over here. You can pass integer, null, and define any sort of value over there. Boolean value, you can also pass the boolean value. And after that, we have also learned that we learned about using the variables, basically declaring and using the variables, that is using this, right? Using our this, right? In using this, we will just define our variables just like we do in the javascript. And after that, if we want to use those variables, what we will just do is we will write the name of that variable inside this curly braces, right? And after that, if I want to write some JavaScript code inside the tags. Let's say I want to write the JavaScript code inside of my div tag. So for that purpose also, I can use these curly braces over here, and I can write my JavaScript code over here. And we will be learning those things in the next videos. And the next thing that we learned is export default tag. That is very necessary, as in the index.js, here we are getting the root from this index.html. We are getting the root from this, and we are writing the logic, basically the basic code for that here. Here you can see we have imported app, right? We have imported this file, and we are rendering that file. So this is the revision for overall thing, overall of the video, of this video, this particular video, the entire thing that we have learned. So yeah, you can go, if you have not understood any of the things, you can go through it once again, because this was a very simple thing. There was no complex thing or any complex logic over here. This was the very basic thing. You can go through your, you can go through this video once again. If you have any doubt, you will understand it, because this is the very simplest thing. We will be learning more and more complex thing in the future in this course.